Okay, hello, it's me, James, and I'm here with Ben. Hello, Ben.
Hello.
And we have got another treat for you. We are honoured
Ooh.
and blessed for the first time ever to directly receive some spoilers.
Woohoo!
Yay! So, thank you very much, Wizkids, for this opportunity. And without further ado, let's crack on. The first one will appear in the middle of your screen when I do this. It's Throne Card. Basic action card. Up to 2 target character dice in your field zone get +1 attack and overcrush until end of turn. Ben, what do you reckon?
First thing first, I was a bit confused by the fact that I thought it was a Colossus and like a Red Skull in
Good.
being thrown in the car,
You got your
which
IPs mixed
apparently,
up.
yeah, I was like, okay, it's some Marvel characters appearing. Apparently, this is a Bizarro and a Red Hood, right?
And here we can see the original artwork, Red Hood and the Outlaws, apparently, from the DC Universe Rebirth. That looks like issue number 3. Okay, so as Ben says, we've seen this before, and I think if I press this button, we should be able to see the magnificent team builder. If you don't know what this is, it's on the Dice Coalition website. It's maintained by Truby, and it's brilliant. And as you can see, I've searched for Throne Car, and there are two. The original was in AVX, which is Hulk literally throwing a car,
Mm-hmm.
and the more recent one was a promo with Golden Age Superman, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty classic. We should probably confess at this point that we're not the greatest DC aficionados, so apologies in advance for anything.
Yeah, quite clearly. Like I was like, oh, that's Colossus, you know,
Yeah.
Bizarro.
So it's useful. It was the first, I think the first because from AVX it was the first action die that granted Overcrush, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about yeah, no, I mean this is a classic kind of card that I think probably at full cost has always been a little bit pricey, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean we do have the full global now. But one thing that I was thinking about with it is the unused Becky, the one where when she attacks, you can choose an unpurchased basic action die and roll it,
Hang on,
and then use it maybe.
let me pull that up. Hang on. Throne card Becky. We're
Aha,
going to get it. That's what I'm here for.
Becky Lynch, the man.
Uh, Becky Lynch. The man is this one. It says, when Becky
Yeah,
Lynch attacks, you may choose an unpurchased non-continuous basic action die and roll it. If it shows an action face, you may use its effect immediately.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that would work.
you're kind of doing the work that the original Becky would do, but this is, I mean, this is pretty good. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah,
But the power to give 2 things over Crush, especially after the blockers are declared,
mm-hmm.
is useful, and certainly in draft, this should be a win condition that people can use. Um,
If you do use Becky, though, I
so
should
I like
point
it.
out, I guess it's before blockers, isn't it? Because when she attacks, you can use it immediately.
Oh, that's true.
It's
Yeah.
a bit of a shame, but the basic action itself, obviously, you can use in the global step after blockers are assigned, which makes for difficult choices for your opponent sometimes. Okay, so Throne Card we've seen before. It's a decent card and a nice bit of artwork. Let me get rid of that for a moment, and we'll crack on to the next one. Are you ready? It's Mary Shazam. She's a 4-cost bolt with a Mystics affiliation, and her subtitle is Wisdom of Minerva. While Mary Shazam is active, when you field a non-villain character die, spin it up 1 level. When fielded, the next Shazam die you purchase costs 2 less, and she's got 1/2/2 fielding, which is not the best, and 4/4, 5/4, 6/6. So fairly decent stats for a 4-cost. Ben, what do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I like this. I think it's pretty good. Pretty interesting ability. I like that. I love the stats. I think
Mm-hmm.
probably maybe the 2 field and face on level 2 is a bit pricey, but for 4 cost 6/6, in the past that's certainly been good. 4/4 5/5. Yeah, no, I like it, and I like the ability. It's very useful, pretty much always. Um,
I think we do have it on a Zatanna, right? Which is a cheaper die.
we do, but yeah, I guess we'll talk about that. But we should also talk about the artwork
Oh
because
yes, yes. Let's not
that's
forget.
something we're going
There we
to do.
go. That's
We
a
couldn't find where this was from. We think it's probably New 52 ish times, but if you do know, give us a shout.
and she says she's breathtaking. It's a pretty cool piece of artwork, actually.
It is a really cool piece of artwork. Yeah.
But let's return to the card for a minute. Yeah, I was mentioning Zatanna. If I pull up
Yeah.
the team builder, there it is, being a magic. Okay, So she's a 3-cost mask, and she does the first half of the ability.
Yep. So I mean, I think that the top ability, right? We'll get onto the second ability in a second, but that top ability is probably the stronger of the two currently, and it's really nice ability. Always spinning up stuff is very useful. And the Zatanna, while it's cheaper, doesn't have the stats, but also the Mystics affiliation, which Mary Shazam has. If you want to be using the Zatanna, which grants the attune to all your Mystics,
That's the
which
Master
is
Magician's
Master
daughter.
Magician's daughter. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can also use the kind of spinning up stuff from Mary Shazam in line with Zatanna, and the kind of spinning up stuff is useful for some of the Mystics.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So there is double duty. I know you can get it for cheaper, but I mean, I like the options that Mary Shazam gives you, as well as possibly giving you a reduction on Shazam, I suppose.
And let's have a little look at what that could mean in terms of Shazams. Now, the first Shazam was in the Justice League set, and he had an exclamation mark.
Yeah.
I suspect might mean that this ability does not work with him, since there is no exclamation mark on Mary Shazam's card.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a massive problem because they weren't very good. In all fairness.
Well, I mean, let's look at there is one Shazam, isn't there, where
same ability. The 6-cost mask, Wisdom of Solomon, says that while he's active, whenever you field a non-villain character spinning out one level, which looks quite familiar considering that's the same as half of her text and he costs more.
Yeah.
So let's ignore the one with the exclamation mark because we don't think that would work. But there has been a more recent one in the Mystics team pack, and they were all right. There was one with Strike, but he does get 6, but still not bad. But more interesting, maybe.
No, good stats. And if you're spinning him up when you field him as well, it's not bad.
All right, yeah. Perhaps more interesting was the Power of Zeus, which says attune, always good. When fielded, you may roll 2 unpurchased basic action dice. If they both roll action faces, place them in your prep area. Otherwise, return them to their cards. That sounds like shenanigans.
I mean, I do admit I have a soft spot for this card. I've tried it a couple of times, and I think maybe like 1 out of the maybe 5 or so times I tried it, it worked really, really well. I got a bunch of actions that I wanted really early. But it's swingy like that, which is fun. But it also works with the Zatanna attune. So there you've got like a little mini Mystics combo-y thing going on where you can have the Mary Shazam, reducing the Shazam, using the Zatanna attune. You want a lot of characters out. So yes, you're paying 2 less for Shazam, but maybe paying 2 for Mary's fielding costs. But you want characters out, don't you? You want volumes of characters out with that Zatanna attune.
Yeah, and so what expensive basic actions might that Shazam be good with? I think there's that one from the spoilers, right? Investigative.
Yeah. Investigative journalism.
Here we go. It's not in the team builder yet. Investigative journalism. Basic action card. Draw 4 dice. Roll up to 3 of them. Prep the remainder. I reckon you can have fun with it. I don't know if it's competitive, but there's fun to be had there.
No, but it's definitely like a little combo-y thing. If you can get the Zatanna, the Mary Shazam, buy the Shazam, get a couple of these investigative journalisms up and running. I mean, that could be pretty good with 3 attunes every time. It's interesting. I don't. Yeah, like I'm not sure it's competitive, but
maybe there will be a Shazam. Well, you would imagine since it's in set, there will be a Shazam in the new set. So maybe there'll be something fantastic that we can use. Shall we push on to the final card? It's the third spoiler. I just need to get rid of the team builder. And drumroll, please. It is Mr. Mind, Wildlands native. He's a 3-cost mask. Another one with a Mystics affiliation and villain affiliation. And it says, when Mr. Mind deals combat damage to your opponent, you may put that Mr. Mind die into your reserve pool on an energy phase. And a burst phase says, Mr. Mind gets +3 attack while your opponent has a character die with 4 attack or greater. He's got weird fielding costs of 1, 0, and 2. Good lord. And he's 1/1 on all his faces. We did dig up the artwork. Let me show you that before we move on. There he is. What's all that about, Ben?
So apparently Mr. Mind is a 2-inch worm type parasited thing who's teamed up with Black Adam, and the Atom gets mad and gets small and goes and kills Mr. Mind or something. But it certainly looks cooler in this image than it does in the cropped image, I've got to say.
It does. It does. But still, I'm not entirely convinced by Mr. Mime.
He's definitely a hot new favorite around the TM United office. No?
Bless
We
him.
like
Bless
talking
him.
about him.
Yeah.
He's the new Sandman potentially. Yeah.
Indeed. What can you do with Mr. Mime? How can you make use of that? I mean, it's quite an interesting ability for sure.
I mean, I think it's very interesting. I'm not sure we've had. Actually, probably someone will be correcting me if I'm wrong. But if you attack, so you can go through for combat damage and then not lose him to the use pile. So my thoughts for this, with my initial thoughts, is it's going to be really good with PXG as just a source of masks, as like an old school PXG fanboy that I am.
Right, hang on. I think I've got that. I can show you. There's Professor X Trainer. Global. Pay a mask. Move up to 2 psychic dice from your use pile to your prep area.
Yeah. So there's similar things like we can do with Clayface or maybe the Collector Global now, which kind of do masks. Masks are a big thing for globals. Mm-hmm. And this Mr. Mind is kind of an unlimited source of those global abilities, energy anyway. You attack with it, your opponent either blocks, KOs it, because it only has 1 defense. Mm-hmm. It goes to the prep area, you roll it for masks next turn. Mm-hmm. Or you can just roll it for masks that turn. Or if you get a character face and they let it through, then you can immediately change it to masks anyway.
Yeah, that's not bad actually. Okay.
It's interesting, right? It's difficult to get rid of, and if you pair it with mask globals, I wouldn't pair it with static field.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, I wouldn't pair it with static field because obviously that would kind of undermine the point of Mr. Mind, because you want to get to a bit something like the Clayface Global where you're using mask to bring other energy in, or even the Doctor Strange Global. With the force attack.
Okay.
The new one.
Where would it be? This one. That's time jump. There you go. Pay mask. Target character die. Must attack this turn. Also, there's Villainous Pact, right? If I can spell villain.
Yeah, although you wouldn't be able to use Villainous Pact because you can only do it on your turn. And this technically would happen at the end of your turn after the global windows have happened, right? So you'd only be able to do globals that work on your opponent's turn.
Right. Okay. And he would be good with, what's his name? Turk.
Yeah, definitely. No, but Turk and
Super Rare.
Turk Barrett, Super Rare, yeah, where you're using kind of mask globals to ping damage places.
While Turk Barrett is active, when you spend mask energy to use a global ability or field a character die, deal 1 damage to target character die. Yeah, that could work.
I'm not sure he'll warrant a place, especially with the fielding costs. I mean, I wish they were 0 across the board. That would definitely make this a go-to for mask energy. But it's 2 affiliations, and definitely difficult for your opponent to get rid of. 1/1 characters, generally the best thing to do is let them through and go to the use pile, because then your opponent has to work through that extra stuff in your bag. But this doesn't do that.
I'm just secretly pouring up the carrion crawler because that die is the image at least looks a lot like a carrion crawler to me. But
I mean, I wish it had the carrion crawler's fielding costs and stats. So I also think it would be interesting with something like Super Rare Thor, where you're needing to field a bunch of characters. Again, if you use something like the Collector Global.
Okay, let me pull him up. That's what I'm here for. That would be that one.
I mean,
Guard Sphere. He says, well, Thor is active when you field a character die, deal 2 damage to target character die or player. So anything that potentially gets knocked out is going to give you more characters to field in the following turn.
Yep, exactly. And if they let it through, then they're taking 1 damage, and you can use the Mask Global for a collector field or something. Or even just with the double energy to use like Supreme Intelligence Global.
Ooh, let me get collector first. Would be this one. Pay a mask once per turn. Field a psychic die from your use pile. Another mask global, handy, and Supreme Intelligence. Yeah. That would be pay 2 generic once per turn. Move a die with a purchase cost 2 or less from your use pile to your prep area. Yeah. Could be useful.
I think people are going to look at this card and kind of look over it because
for sure
you see a two fielding 1/1, but actually I think this has some shenanigan potential. There's sometimes you need a character where it's just really difficult for your opponent to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this 2-inch worm is gonna crawl into your skin and bug you for sure.
Okay, and on that bombshell, we should probably draw to a close. Thank you, everybody, very much indeed for watching. We hope you've enjoyed it, found that useful. Please give the video a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And also, don't forget that if it's still February while you're watching this, we actually have a competition running. If you subscribe to the channel and you leave a comment on the video, which is called Competition Time, you can win 5 X-Men the Animated Series promos, and we'll be doing the draw for that on the 1st of March, so you've still got time. So go and check that video out. Thank you very much again. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, no, big thanks to Wizkids as well.
Indeed.
For sending us the spoilers.
Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.